I want to express my unity with this this demonstration that's happening right now as an emergency last-ditch effort to free our brother Troy Davis, who, as we know, is on death row in the state of Georgia for a crime or for an act that he did not even commit. But while we all, I think, are in agreement that Troy Davis is quote-unquote innocent, I think that the real issue that we must address, not only in this action, but in actions that we hold in the future, is calling to question what the role of the death penalty in this society really is. And we know that the death penalty not only is it unjust and used as a permanent rectification for crimes that 9 times out of 10 haven't even been proven to have been committed, but more than that, the death penalty itself is a weapon of mass destruction against the black community. And but not just the death penalty, but the prison system as a whole. And the reality is that we reject any claim from this government that African people are criminals, when it is in fact the U.S. government that's been committing crimes of genocide against black people, against the indigenous people right here in North America, that some call Indians and Mexicans, against the people of Iraq, Afghanistan, and around the world. Who the hell is the state of Georgia or the U.S. government to call anybody a criminal while it commits crimes of genocide against oppressed people around the world? So we reject. For us, it's not even a question of whether or not Troy Davis is innocent or not. We say Troy Davis must be free because the prison system exists as an instrument to oppress the historically oppressed black community inside this country and around the world. And that's our demand. But more than that, I want for us to understand that the struggle to free Troy Davis must be connected to the overall struggle to free African people who were held captive here in the U.S. for the last 400 years. As we were holding the demonstration, I was watching, many of y'all may have noticed, there was about 50 cops on bicycles that were just gathered right there. And those police then took their bicycles and started riding around this area, and those are the same cops who this so-called mayor has launched against black youth in the city of Philadelphia to uphold this anti-democratic, draconian, racist so-called curfew, which is designed to protect the wealth only of the white community, particularly that exists in University City, Center City, and other wealthy areas of the city. And I say that in this valley because that has everything to do with the real death penalty that is not only being imposed on Troy Davis, but the fact is that if you are black in America, then you are on death row. Whether you're in the prison or whether you are in the ghetto. We experience a death penalty from the time we come out of our mother's womb. And this has been the relationship that we have had with this government for the last 400 years. And so we say, end the death penalty. It is an unjust law. But we also say, down with this colonial prison system. And we say, not only that, stop the war on the African community as a whole. We say, stop the war against the people of Iraq, Afghanistan, and oppressed people around the world. We also say that Barack Obama cannot represent the interests of oppressed people here in the U.S. as long as he carries out these wars of aggression against the oppressed people around the world. And we are not fooled just because you got a black president, a black mayor, and perhaps you may even have 3% of the judicial system being black people. But I don't believe that Clarence Thomas being a representative of the judicial system means anything positive for my people or oppressed people around the world. What we need is self-determination. African people have a right to be in control of our own courts, of our own police, and our own government to determine what law really is. Because at the end of the day, what they call law is simply the rule or the opinion of those who have power. That's what the law is, right? And that's why during the time of slavery, if you were running away, you were condemned you are accused of breaking the law, because the law was the opinion of the slave master. And today, we have a sane prison system and court system that represents the policy and the opinion of those who have power, of the descendants of the slave master. And so in our view, it's not good enough, it's not enough just to prove to a court of law how Troy Davis didn't break the law. The real question again is the seizure of power of oppressed people, whether we are African or oppressed people around the world. So this is part of what we have to raise up as we say free Troy Davis. And I want to encourage everybody who is here, if we are honest and we really believe in justice and freedom, that we will stand in support and unity with the struggle against imperialism, against this wars on oppressed people around the world. We're not just saying stop the war, but we say victory to oppressed people around the world. We say victory to the Afghani people. We say victory to the Iraqi people. We say victory to the poor and oppressed African community. All power to the people, black power to the African community.